Hello guys, I'm Danielle Butler and I'm here with your Friday WOD video, and we're talking about packaging your story. And this one is so absolutely crucial to your success in your Advocare business. This is one of the very first training points that we got when we got started with our Advocare journey, and the reason is because it's so imperative to how successful you're going to be. Your story determines that's what you're selling here is your story. Where people aren't buying the products, they are obviously, but what they're really buying is your story. So you've got to have it nailed down. Super important. For every time that you don't tell your story well, you're potentially losing thousands of dollars. Same thing if you're every time you do tell it well, and you're potentially putting thousands of dollars into your pocket. So that you got to have this one nailed down. And it's important to recognize people care. They want to know what's in it for me. We hear that that's the radio station people are tuned into, WIFM. What's in it for me? And that's what they want to know. So you have to have your story so tightly packaged, and you have to know it so well that you're able to kind of change it up according to each person's needs. Because here's the deal, you're going to run into people and they're going to have different needs. So for example, if I have somebody that's looking for energy, I can tell them that I quit taking naps. Totally the truth. If I have somebody who's looking to increase their performance, I cut down on my mile time. If I have somebody looking to lose weight, I lost 6 pounds in my first challenge, dropped 2 pant sizes, stayed on products, lost 15 pounds total. If I have a mom who is, I can tell them about using products while I was pregnant and now while nursing. If I have somebody who's looking for income, I can talk to them about what we're averaging a month, or looking to bring a spouse home. Guess what? Advocare brought me home. So I can tailor my story. Our stories are big, right? We have lots of elements to it, and so you got to listen to what the other person's looking for, and then position Advocare as a solution through your story, because that's what they're buying is your story, right? So we got to be able to tell it well. So what we learned at No Limits, the best way to package it, make sure that it's nice and neat, ready to go, is to write it out. And so what I would do is I would grab a piece of paper, I would write down these 4 questions, and then write your answers on one line. And they should be able to fit on one line. Because if you're anything like me and you love to talk, sometimes my 30-second story can really easily get turned into a 9.5-minute story, and then I lose them. And so, we've got to make sure that it's tightly packaged, because that's what you have. You've got about 30-second window there to grab somebody's attention and make them want to see more. So these are those 4 questions I want you to write down. The first one is where I was. So you got to tell them, where were you at when you first found Advocare? The second question is what I saw. The third question is what happened. And then the fourth question is where I'm going. So where I was, what I saw, what I did and what happened. And then the fourth one is where I'm going. And that last one is the most important one. And that's the one that you want to really elaborate on. That's going to be the longest part of your story. So, it might take, 5 seconds to say where I was. I was a middle school teacher working, 60 hours a week, and I was exhausted. Or I just ran 2 full marathons, was stuck at a plateau, and was miserable. Whatever it may be, 5 seconds. Then, what I saw people around me losing weight and having more energy. Real simple, again, 5-10 seconds. What happened? And this is, you want to keep it short and to the point right here. This one's super important to make sure that you keep it precise, because people don't care that you were, at your grandmother's house and the phone rang and you ate some yogurt from the fridge and the baby started crying and blah, 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 blah. They don't care about all that. They just want to know the facts, right? Because we got about 30 seconds. So, in about 10 seconds, 5-10 seconds, tell them, what happened. I dropped 2 pant sizes. 6 pounds, energy shot through the roof, quit taking naps. Bam. And then the last one, that is the most important part. And what we've started doing is incorporating our income into this every single time. No matter what they're asking about or what they're looking for, we always talk about that, just so that they have that in their heads, and they know that there's income opportunity here. And so where I'm going, that is the most important part. That can be the 10 to 15 seconds because that's what people care about. Now, I'll tell you, this is where most people kind of clam up, and it's really hard for us to say where we're going because sometimes we don't believe it ourselves. So this is where you have to really just get strong. You got to speak it with strength, friends, because this is what's going to attract people to you. If you can say with strength that you're on track to be making $1,000 a month by January, or $10,000 a month by next May, whatever it is, if you can say that with strength and you believe it, and you're speaking with conviction, they're going to be drawn to that, and they're going to say, all right, well, I don't know, maybe I should look into this a little bit more. And even if it's something where they just want the products, that's great. Guess what's going to happen? When you help them get awesome results on those products, they're going to think back in their head, okay, now wait, I know she told me she's going to be making, $2,000 a month with this, so maybe I can make some money too. The products are working. And that's how it works. That's what happens. So your story is so, so important. And what I encourage you to do, write it out. You should be able to fit each thing on, 1 or 2 lines. Get your cell phone out, turn the timer on, practice it. Practice it, practice it, practice it. Practice it so that it's so fresh in your head that, if you need to tweak it here or there to fit a prospect's needs, you can do that. And it won't totally throw you off where you're stumbling and fumbling over your words. And, like I said, time each other. If, you hit record on your cell phone and listen to yourself and listen to how you sound. And then here's the biggest part. When you're speaking it, you've practiced it over and over and over. When you're speaking it, though, you got to have passion. You cannot sound like, and you're hitting that record, playback button on your phone for people. They've got to sense the passion, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, wherever. They have got to be able to know that this is something you believe in strongly. And so you've got to have, a little bit of enthusiasm, a little bit of fire. They got to hear that belief in your voice for this to be something that they want to be a part of. So, I encourage you, if you have not, I encourage you to do 2 things. Number 1, write your story out. Okay, I lied, 3 things. Number 1, write your story out. Number 2, practice the snot out of it. Practice, 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 practice. And then number 3, call your upline leader, any one of them, or crossline, whoever, call somebody and tell them and ask for honest feedback. And I know, they might hear some, extraneous details that don't need to be in there that are kind of bogging it down, and you can pull those out. So, reach out to somebody and say, hey, give me some feedback on my story. What do you think? I heard Z say, one time that if you want to attract people like Z, and who doesn't want a Z on their team? Who doesn't want a diamond? You've got to have a dynamite story that's going to pull a Z. So, that's why it's got to be something, it's ever evolving, something we're always working on, and nail it down, folks. Hope y'all have an awesome weekend. Y'all are the bomb. Talk to you later.